Hello everybody, my name is Resins22, and while I continue working on competitive, I want to start with a really fun series. So today I'll be giving my commentary on my actually very challenging gym leader battles against Nessa and Allister, who were revealed during the trailers to keep the first episode spoiler free. These were surprisingly difficult because I did a challenge run with these rules that you can see on the screen. While I walk into the arena, I think my Bridge Let's Play showcases just how fun and clever Sword and Shield can really be if you keep yourself underleveled. New competitive battle commentaries and tutorials are also on the way. Thank you so much everyone for your continued support, especially on Patreon, as we managed to replace my broken capture card, which I'm very thankful for. Without further ado, let's jump into the battles. So the first gym battle will be against Nessa, the water type specialist and a fan favorite. Both leaders here are. First, I just have to say that, wow, do I love the presentation on the gyms in this game. Like when you walk down the hallway, the music stops, and the gym leader approaches you. This game has so many just nice little touches to it that I think if you manage to keep your team underleveled, and how I did this was by using a separate team to catch Pokemon, because once you get to the wild area, you will be able to freely access your PC. That was one of the many restrictions I put on myself, and it made my playthrough epic. Like, every single gym battle was a nail-biter, starting with Nessa. So I figured that, well, let's begin with Nessa, and I'll also combine it with Alistar after. Like I said, these battles are surprisingly challenging. And gosh, the presentation. And then, of course, the music kicks in. I think we all saw a snippet of my team during the intro of the video, but here we get to see just how it's kind of evolved over time. She starts with her Goldeen. I start with my Cherubi. Now, I should note that I went into Pokemon Sword and Shield 100% completely blind, so I had no idea what Pokemon any of the gym leaders actually had. I saw some of the trailers, but that was it. So I led with Cherubi, although Yamper was another option, but I feared a water ground type. In retrospect, conserving Nylea would have helped, but I really didn't know what type of team she had, and that's why I love going in blind. I decided to Growth Up on turn 1 for the attack boosts, and now I'm deciding whether or not I want to heal up with Morning Sun, or go straight for the KO with Magical Leaf. Horn Attack is doing a decent amount of damage, but nothing too bad. She actually does survive, and like I said, again, you can see just how exciting this is if you manage to not get like super over-leveled. Okay, she goes for another Horn Attack here. We do live this, which is great. And they go for Magical Leaf, and that'll take down her first Pokemon. This battle starts fairly easy, but I think it's a fantastic transition. Here, you can see the rest of my team there. I love the nicknames in them, so shoutouts to anyone in the comments who actually gets these references. In both my Wi-Fi Battle Analysis series, my Pokemon tutorials, or this in-game playthrough. Arrokuda comes out. I had never seen this Pokemon before. I had no idea what it was, and I was like, wait, I think that's the Pokemon that I saw in that Cramorant trailer. So I didn't know it was a real Pokemon at this point. And honestly, going into this blind, and you'll notice that I'm also playing on set, right? It just made it so much more fun. I think I'm going to play all future Pokemon games like this, actually. Bite does a decent amount of damage. I didn't know what type Arrokuda was, but it looks kind of like Mono Water. I'm very familiar with Goldeen. I've been playing Pokemon ever since I was a little kid, and competitively, I guess technically since Gen 3, but more seriously since Gen 4. It lives, and she calced it. No Focus Sash here. I don't believe that Nessa has any potions here. She's just gonna bite me again. This is like... Nylea's getting really, really low. Decided to knock it out with attack for extra style points. Get the crit. Perfectly calculated. And now is when the real battle actually begins. Barnum levels up to 23. Oh man, I love my story team this time. I know, I could have picked any other grass-type Pokemon, but yes, I had to build my team around Cherum. I love Cherum, and I didn't get a chance to really use it in Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum. Platinum being one of my favorite Pokemon games. So, here, oh boy, especially when I saw Dynamax, I was like, I gotta find a use for Cherum. Now here I have to switch out here, and I think it's very fair to the AI that I let them get the switch initiative and force me out into Maelstrom. Oh, isn't he so adorable? Flood the stadium and make it our ocean. Dreadnought, time to Dynamax. These cutscenes are just so great. I am overjoyed that they brought back the in-battle dialogue. Sword and Shield does have a couple flaws here and there, but overall, I haven't had this much fun with like a mainline Pokemon story RPG in a while. It's just like what they did with the gyms is fantastic, and that's kind of why I'm focusing on this. And let me know exactly how much of my playthrough you all want to see, but I figured I would show a few parts of just some of the gym battles and then the champion, basically. And maybe one of the climax battles. Now, I take a lot of damage here. She Dynamaxes her Dreadnought. I did not know what type Pokemon that was at the time, although I did see it in a trailer. And she went for Max Darkness. So when you Dynamax, all of your moves turn into like max moves of the same type. You can't use any status moves. Those all turn into Protect or Max Guard. I go into Edgeworth here, unfortunately, as like a sacrifice, because I felt like I really needed to actually heal up Maelstrom. This thing was much tougher to take down than I thought it would be. Now, I'm not sure why she went for Max Darkness there. Perhaps just to lower my special attack or predicting a switch, you never know. The AI gets better as you get throughout the game, and I've even had some crazy weird switching shenanigans with Battle Tower. It does happen. However, she does decide to make the battle 20 times harder on me by ending her last turn of Dynamax, and it lasts for 3 turns, which is an interesting way to sort of balance out the mechanic. I think it's really cool for doubles, and it's a shame that it's pretty tricky to balance for singles. She ends off with the Max Geyser, which has the secondary effect of setting up the rain. Dynamax, in a way, is, you know, Game Freak's attempt at trying to combine some of the best elements of Mega Evolutions and Z moves. And, like I said, at least for doubles, it's really interesting. Now, she's out of her Dynamax turns, but the water is set up, which means I am not going to take any of these hits very well. But let's see. Oh my goodness! See, this is what love and care will do. Oh my goodness. Now, again, I didn't use any affection as also part of my rules in here, so this is just me getting either a lucky roll or Maelstrom being such a good boy. Actually manages to live the rain-boosted Razor Shell, which at this stage in the game is honestly pretty tough. And Dreadnought is pretty bulky on the physical side. I thought Yamper might be lightning fast like Boltund, but even with paralysis, it's not. You can expect plenty of like competitive Wi-Fi battle analysis stuff from me. It's just that I wanted to start first, you know, kind of like a chronological order type thing. And like here I'm thinking, how on earth do I kill this thing? The rain is up, that's super duper bad. I'm like, can Krako actually take a hit here? Because Krako does have Fluffy, which makes it take half damage from physical attacks, which is really nice, but also it takes bonus damage from fire type attacks. Really cool. Love that ability. And I figured I'd use this as a... Yeah, I use this as an opportunity to Super Potion up Nylea, my Cherubi. And hopefully I'll have a good matchup there. Wow, that's with Fluffy. And see, that's what I mean. Razor Shell also has a good chance of dropping the opponent's physical defense. So again, it's a nice like difficulty spike, assuming you didn't get super over level from your first attempt in the wild area. For whatever reason, the game doesn't actually factor in any experience that you get in the wild area in the kind of game's level curve, which is why I strongly recommend using a like separate team for catching Pokemon. And then you'll have hopefully as much fun as I did. So wow, that's just a lot of KOs for the second gym battle. Like, I wasn't prepared for this. I have a fairly well-balanced team, but I also have some stranger Pokemon on here. And of course I had to use the Rookidee because, gosh, Corviknight is one of my favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I got quite a few. I'd have to really think about this one. Do I Dynamax here? Nice. And of course, I just love Boltund. I think Boltund was the first one that I bred competitively, so if you guys like Boltund, you can expect to see quite a bit of that. And of course, my classic favorite, Arcanine, and Goodra will make a return. Oh yeah, Dynamax Cherubi. Yeah, I have to say that, like, Dynamax as a story element makes these gym battles so much better. You know, regardless of whether or not you're a competitive player. Oh, look at that damage. I think it was at this point that I realized that it might be a water rock type, just based off the shell. So the 4x super effective there was probably very much necessary. And also this Pokemon just looks like it has huge physical defense, so I wasn't confident that Maelstrom would be able to take it down. And yeah, this is like the first gym battle, or the first battle I had done, where I lost like 3 Pokemon. I think Bede took out 2 of mine. And again, can't give them enough praise for the soundtrack and just general presentation here. It's fantastic. Like I said, the game's not perfect, but wow. I just had a lot more fun than I expected I would. And we've taken down Nessa. That was a lot of fun. Allister, though, we get to see how my team evolves, and this, yeah, I'll give my continued thoughts on Pokemon Sword and Shield. The handshake at the end, again, is just also such a nice gesture. They finally made the gym battles feel like, I guess how I'd always wanted them to feel like. Sword and Shield, in many ways, is a return to form. And for what it does well, it does very, very well. Particularly the soundtrack. Oh my goodness. Now don't worry, by the way, I kept the default look throughout my playthrough, but for all the Wi-Fi battles and whatnot, I have a lead card, and I did actually customize my trainer and whatnot. The trainer customization in this game is also phenomenal. And yeah, you even get her gym outfit too. Okay, let's jump into Alistar. I hope you all enjoyed that one, and we'll be right back. Alright, next up is the gym battle against Alistar, the Ghost-type specialist and also a fan favorite. This gym leader is exclusive to Pokemon Shield, as they revealed in the trailer. It's kinda interesting and makes playing both games a bit different. And given how much I love Pokemon Shield, I can definitely see myself playing Pokemon Sword with a different team and maybe even keeping my levels a little bit lower. We'll see. Or one day, maybe a full Nuzlocke. Anyway, this battle completely threw me for a loop too. Like, I thought I might get swept by that Dreadnought, but thankfully, I played it really carefully. Alistar's team, though, I was completely unprepared for. Once again, I went into this game almost entirely blind. I had seen the trailers and managed to avoid all the spoilers, and that made everything extra special for me. Alistar's design is really, really interesting, and boy do I love the look of his gym. Oh, here he comes. I had no idea what to expect from this guy. Oh, I don't even remember which Pokemon he uses in the trailer. Oh, the music kicks in. I love how it's like dynamic throughout the battle. Hopefully we've all noticed that at this point. And that also, Alistar uses Dust Balls. Nice touch, right? So I lead with Maelstrom, who's now fully evolved into Boltund, one of my favorite new Pokemon. And I'm up against Yamask. Galarian Yamask, which is, again, a really cool Pokemon. Now, at this point in the game, I had only faced Yamask in a trainer battle, and they don't reveal what type it is the first time you face it. Here, I finally figured it out. If it's immune to electric, that can only mean one thing. It's part ground type. I could have stayed in and gone for Bite, but I feared a possible ground type move, which might just KO me, so I decided to switch out. It so turns out that it is actually Ghost Ground, so the more you know. Anyway, I switch out of there. That's a very bad matchup to start the battle off with, and we go into Nylea, who's also evolved into a Cherim. Oh, I love Cherim so much. Since I only have one attack, and his first disable failed because I switched, I went for Leech Seed first, predicting the second disable. Alistar uses quite a bit of advanced strategy compared to Nessa, and actually, quite a few of the gym leaders do. I will showcase that later. In the episode after this, you'll see exactly what I mean. If people are interested, I'd love to do it. Alistar disables my Leech Seed here, so I can't use it again. Thankfully, though, I went for Leech Seed instead of Magical Leaf. I did this intentionally because if I went for Magical Leaf, then I wouldn't have a move to attack him with, which is part of his strategy and would force me to switch. For part of the playthrough, I really wanted to run both Sunny Day and Growth, since Growth gives double boosts in the sun, and that's really fun. But later on, I do replace Growth because I found a great coverage move and something to make my Dynamax better. Now, Alistar here goes for Hex. I take like no damage from that, and that is because Cherrim's ability is that in the sunlight, it transforms and grants itself and its allies a special defense and a physical attack boost, which is really strange, but I am determined to make this thing viable, at least in multi-battles with the viewers or fun, casual VGC matches. Goes for Brutal Swing here. It looks like he doesn't actually have a good answer to Nylea, which is absolutely fantastic, and I just can't get enough of this gym leader music and just the presentation in this game. I do change my movesets quite a bit throughout this playthrough, and again, like, please let me know what you'd be interested in. I go for the Magical Leaf here, and it does some massive damage and manages to take out the Yamask in one hit. Growth also has double the effect in the sun. Oh my god, so one of the other reasons why this team is built this way is because it was like, okay, Edgeworth, my Growlithe, can set up the sun with Max Flare, which will make it so if I switch in Cherrim, it will just automatically transform and become super powerful. So I just really want to make Cherrim work. I bust Alistar's Disguise here. Disguise is like basically starting with a substitute. Kinda. It's kind of hard to explain. Basically, he ignores the first instance of damage that he takes, but you can actually status him, so it isn't quite like a substitute. But they did nerf it a little bit this gen, and this is so you can't use it in combination with Focus Sash. So he loses 1/8 of his HP when the Disguise is broken. Despite the fact that I am at like +2 special attack, and I have the Rose Incense held item, which boosts the damage of grass type attacks, and it's Stab, same type attack bonus. This Mimikyu is taking these hits really well, and he's setting up Home Claws, which is really scary for me. This is to ensure that the next slash is a KO, and I'm worried this thing might have Shadow Sneak. Hopefully this Magic Leaf does enough damage to knock it out. And it does! Alright, so Mimikyu is down, because we definitely would not live the following slash. And our team might get swept by Shadow Sneak. And again, I didn't know the rosters of any of the gym leaders, and I had never seen this Pokemon before. I was like, what? So, you're telling me that there's a Galarian Corsola. It's so cool to see non-Kanto regional variations. But it also evolves into a Corsola? That was my reaction at the time. I'm fully aware of it now, though. Of course I Elite Suited it, just to try and whittle it down. It just kind of looked bulky. Then Alistar caught me off guard with a Curse here. And normally when the AI does this, it's like a really bad idea. But I think in this case, it was actually a very smart move on Alistar's part, because I was kind of hoping to sweep his entire team with Nylea, because I had already gotten the growth boost, and I could just set up the sun again and go crazy if I'd like. But with the curse damage, so you lose 50% of your HP in exchange for your opponent losing 25% of their maximum HP every single turn until they switch out. Can't be cured with items or anything. So I'm wondering here, what do I do? They're gonna Krako. Krako is normal type, does immune to ghost type moves. They're gonna Gauge, Barnum, Maelstrom, like who's the answer? Is it Edgeworth? It's actually gonna be Maelstrom. So it's gonna have Boltund here. And we'll see what Corsola does. Corsola goes for Hex. That's a cool animation. Wow, that does so much damage. So, again, I know all this stuff now, but Corsola has one heck of a special attack stat. And Galarian Corsola actually sees quite a bit of competitive play thanks to the Eviolite held item and the lack of knockoff distribution in this generation as a move. These are things that I'll talk plenty about in all sorts of upcoming like competitive tutorials and analysis videos, but if you really want to get into this, I predict the Hex. Go into Krako, he's immune to Hex. He's a normal type. If you really want to get into competitive, my team building guide that I released a few months ago, the most recent one, just always keep checking for the most recent one, updated for every generation. The Ultra Sun Ultra Moon one contains plenty of notes for Sword and Shield, and if you follow that team building template, it does still work for Smogon singles. He's taking a lot of curse damage here. Is this a turn that Alistar... Yeah, so his strategy is delightfully devilish Seymour. No, it's like really devious. Super clever. The idea being that his Cursula will put a curse on whatever Pokemon that you have out, right? And then that's going to ruin any potential chance of you getting a sweep, while it gets a bunch of strong hits off on your existing Pokemon for his ace. And I had no idea what his ace was. And like I mentioned earlier, yes, he cursed me again. Setting up the curse for his ace to come out makes this battle so scary. And here comes the finale music. My last Pokemon. How frightening. And it's Gengar! I had no idea. And it's level 36, that's not good. I mean, I like it. I love the challenge. I really do. Well, and one of my conditions as well was like, I can't just put like 4 attacks in every Pokemon. I gotta try like some kind of strategies, like Hone Claws plus Power Trip. So that was one of the things I was thinking of right here. I love when the crowd chanting kicks in. Payback or Corvisquire? I had no idea what to do here because I know he's going to Dynamax his Gengar. And again, like, Dynamax for the story mode playthrough adds so much to these gym battles. Even if it's something that you decide not to use as like a challenge mechanism, I think it makes the gym leader battles so much more interesting. Everyone's got a unique animation too for that. Here it comes, and I had no idea that there was even a Gigantamax Gengar. This is not your normal Gengar. This is Advanced Darkness. Oh my god, I had no idea what it did either. And he's got Max Ooze. Didn't know what that did at the time. Again, since then I've played quite a few Wi-Fi battles, quite a few Showdown battles. Those are all coming, but I want to do things in chronological order. Here I learned the rough lesson, so I went for Payback, because I thought it'd be pretty cool. You know, Gengar is way faster than me, so I figured Payback would do a ton. Krako's no slouch on his attack stat, super effective. He took that like a champ. And with the curse damage and the Max Ooze, Krako is down, and this is when I realized I'm in deep trouble, and I'm gonna have to think about this one. Max Ooze has the secondary effect of raising your special attack. I actually really like the way that the Dynamax moves were designed, except for maybe Max Airstream is kind of the only one that really pushes over the top. I mean, obviously all Dynamax moves are incredibly powerful. And not all of them are like equally powerful, but they're all very powerful. But I think putting the special attack raise, they did the stat distribution things for the max moves pretty well to make them harder to abuse, and they thankfully have lower base power, the ones that raise your attacking stats. So, but this just makes me really concerned, because it's like, even once the Dynamax wears off, I still have to deal with this Gengar having raised special attack. So we're going to Maelstrom here, and I'm hoping that Maelstrom is fast in this thing. I have no idea. And my trainer in the background doing her determined pose. I love that one too. Oh, we gotta get the Dynamax dog. I'll show you some Max Darkness. Call back Maelstrom. Dynamax really grew on me. Like at first it was like, it's just big Pokemon. But it's actually a really fun, really fun mechanic. Although I do have to say one thing that confused me was like the 3 little like clouds rotating above it. I thought that would signify the 3 turn duration. The clouds don't disappear over the duration. They're just there. I suppose for size and whatnot. I go for Max Darkness thinking, it's a wrap. It's not a wrap. Uh-oh. That's really bad. I mean, at least I lowered his special defense. G-Max Terror. It's like Shadow Tag. You won't get away. I won't let it. And he just throws a bunch of chairs at me, and that's just awesome. So Maelstrom is down. I'm shocked he lived that. But again, that's one of the important parts of these like challenge runs that I love to do. This time I wanted to use no X items as well. And playing on set, I knew there was a way to make Sword and Shield more interesting. And I am proud to say, I think I succeeded. I had so much fun with this. And I wish I could have gotten these videos out earlier, but my capture card was broken for all of December. And I've been sick for quite a while, so your patience has been super appreciated. It was really looking like a Gengar sweep. I just thought I'd lost. But I got my ace in the hole. Gengar might be faster than my entire team. It's got extra boosted special attack. But I had Gage in the back with the Sucker Punch Snipe. And this, I think, just again showcases just how much fun I had playing through Sword and Shield and how much fun I'm still having with it. By adding like a little bit of extra strategy to my team. You know, Not having like a super just over-leveled starter or something like that. I've put utility moves on every single one of my Pokemon, and that Sucker Punch came in clutch. And if you're all interested, I plan to do 3 more episodes of this, like 4 total. One showcasing 2 more gym leaders, and then another one showcasing, I think, one of the hardest battles in the game, at least for me. It was so hard, and I think that you'll all find that probably really entertaining. And then the champion, as well as mixing that in with, Wi-Fi battles, and I'm still working on tutorials, and you can also expect some content mixed in there for other games, like, miscellaneous Nintendo games and indie games. Things like Link's Awakening, for example, are on the way. The handshake at the end. Ah. The Gym Challenge in Pokemon Sword and Shield is a return to form, and man, is it done well. And you get the TM Hex, which is very useful. Really hope you all enjoyed that battle. Like, I've been watching plenty of battle videos and Let's Plays of Sword and Shield on YouTube, but none of them really had any sort of challenge to them. So I'm hoping that my abridged Let's Play, with a bit of a post-commentary, kind of like a retrospective style, is not only much easier to digest, but also the battles themselves are more interesting since I'm actually losing Pokemon. So while the live reactions are always nice, it's my hope that this type of thing is a lot more interesting than your typical Let's Play. And of course, for the competitive fans, I'll be showcasing quite a bit of that soon too. I really hope you all enjoyed watching the first part of this series. I did a bunch of polls and I think I've settled on 4 parts, mixed in with content for a wide variety of games, as well as my first 2 Wi-Fi battles, so let me know how that sounds, with plenty more after that. The idea is something for everyone. I'd definitely like to know if you enjoyed this video, and please let me know what type of content you like to see for Sword and Shield, and games in general. I'm just trying to do things in chronological order. And there will also be content for Pokemon Showdown as well. I'm also working on some bigger content in the meantime, of course, for games like Link's Awakening, and some ambitious, yet very approachable tutorials for Pokemon, which I'm known for and love to do. Those videos are always a tremendous amount of work, and might take a while to produce, but with your continued support and funding, things like that and Resonance Bot updates are on the way. I've just been quite sick, as you may have noticed, and the broken capture card for most December was a major bummer, delaying things a little bit. But I am back now in full swing, and I replaced the card thanks to all of you. I seriously appreciate that. I think every video I did in 2019 has something special to offer. And whether you're a Pokemon fan or a variety fan. So I hope you check those out as well. Know that I'm always open to suggestions, and I really look forward to reading your comments as always. Thank you so much everyone for your continued support, especially on Patreon. And I'll see you all in the next video.
Huh?